Charlotte, when you go on a trip, what do you pack?
Only the essentials.
Well, boy, do I have a car for you. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Kia Hyundai channel. My name's Gabi.
And I'm Charlotte.
And this is the 2024 Hyundai Kona Essential, which is the entry trim level here for the Kona in Canada, right, Char?
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to give you a full walkthrough of everything there is to know about this car, from the exterior to the powertrain to the interior and to the safety. I'm going to turn this off.
But if you guys are new here, these videos are live streamed, and we get to live stream every single day of the week from at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we like to do this, that way we can interact with you guys through the live chat. That way if you have any questions, you can put them in the live chat. We can answer them for you. But if you're watching this after the video is posted and you still have questions, well, put them in the comments down below and we'll do our very best to answer them for you.
And with that being said, I think we should roll right into it.
Let's go.
All right, so this vehicle, again, is going to be your entry trim level. And one thing I will also point out, if you're balling on a budget and you need an SUV, all-wheel drive is something you would like to have, and you just want a little bit more space, this is the car to check out. It's been 4-time car of the CUV of the year here in Canada, and it's quite impressive. For the 2024 model year, we did get a complete redesign, so it has a fresh new look and new technology inside that even the highest trim level of the Hyundai Palisade does not yet support, so a certain feature. We'll also take a look at the front end just to get a good glimpse of it. This vehicle has a very RoboCop-esque look to it. So we have this beautiful light bar that extends all the way across the front end of this car. Now, if you've seen some of our other Kona videos, you may notice that the LED daytime running light actually covers the entire span of the hood. On the Essential and Preferred, it's cut off at about the third mark, or the 1/3 mark. It still looks very good. It definitely adds a different look to the car, and it makes it stand out. There's a lot of good road presence with this vehicle. On the actual hood itself,
What's the price?
The price, $27,999 Canadian for this specific model before taxes and fees. Now, I will point out that this is the all-wheel drive model, so it adds on an additional $2,000. So if you don't need all-wheel drive, but you like this vehicle, you certainly can. You can save the $2,000. It's $25,999 in that case. All right, I'm going to show the Hyundai badge before I actually pop the hood. So it's actually kind of stamped into the the hood itself. Not completely flush, but definitely low profile. So I think that makes the car look a little bit more sleek. Now let's pop that hood, and we'll talk powertrain. So the entry trim level powertrain you'll get in the Kona is a 2-liter 4-cylinder, so an inline 4. Just regular gas, hydraulic lift. That is something very nice to have.
On an introductory level?
Seriously, something we filmed a top-of-the-line Sorento yesterday, and it had a prop arm. Not that that's a horrible thing, but this is really nice to have. So 4-cylinder, 2-liter gasoline engine, like I mentioned, 147 horsepower with 132 pound-feet of torque. You're also going to get an IVT transmission matched to this car, and that stands for Intelligent Variable Transmission. Operates the same way a traditional automatic would, in the sense that there's no clutch pedal, you don't have to shift gears, you just put it in drive and go, and it's very, very fuel efficient. So this vehicle is rated at 8.6 liters per 100 kilometers combined, and again, it's got all-wheel drive, and it's fairly spacious, but more on that once we hop inside. Also point out the actual headlight. So for your main headlight unit, it's a little bit lower into the front end itself. Your high beams and your low beams are going to be full LEDs, so visibility is fantastic on this car, and you have automatic high beam assist, meaning that if you turn your high beams on and it senses another car or sufficient lights, it'll shut them off and you don't have to blind people, because these things, again, very, very bright. We have a dark gray or almost gunmetal style front bumper, a little bit of black, and then we have active air shutters here. So for cooling, this vehicle will temporarily open and close these air shutters to allow the vehicle to cool itself during operation. Pretty cool to see. Obviously, if you're driving, you're not going to notice, but you may notice when your vehicle's starting and on in your driveway. It opens and closes. Pretty fun. All right, up here too. Sorry. And then we'll come around to the wheels. The wheels on this trim, I'm going to be honest, guys. I don't know how I feel about them. Definitely better than having steel wheels with covers. So these are 17-inch alloys in a nice star shape. Star shape, yes, star shape. So again, not my favorite wheel design. I definitely think if you go to the Preferred or even the N line, of course, you do have funner wheels, funkier wheels. But again, you could use this for your winter tire package and get some other sort of wheel design for your full year round, or you may like them. That's okay too. All season tires, 17-inch alloys. My biggest beef with this vehicle is the fact that the center cap is a different color than the wheel itself, and I think it looks...
It's why blend in when you were
born to stand out. Now, I will also point out you're going to get full disc brakes on this vehicle, and you get all-wheel drive with the multi-link rear suspension. Charlotte's doing stuff behind the camera. The body cladding on this car, definitely a different look. It stands out, almost an armor style look to it. I will say in Canada, it is really nice to not have body color paint surrounding your wheel wells with all the salt, snow, dirt, whatever that gets kicked up from the roads. So this is very nice for more so lifestyle driving. I think the vehicle will look better over time, right? Okay, especially if you don't like cleaning your car, or you're not good at cleaning your car, don't worry about scratching that area. The mirror itself, body color, we do have a little bit of black along the bottom. And if you flip over to the mirror section, you'll see we have our blind spot detection alert. So when you're driving this car and it senses a vehicle in either your left or right blind spot, the vehicle will beep inside to let you know what's happening. But before that, it'll illuminate the mirror just so you have an extra sense of awareness as to what's going on around you. Really nice to see. There's also forward collision avoidance, meaning that if someone was ahead of me, suddenly slammed on the brakes, or there were sudden changes on the road, the vehicle does have the capability of warning the driver and then emergency braking to avoid said collision. There's also 6 airbags on this vehicle, and it's made with Hyundai's high tensile steel and a safety structure. So very smart. Charlotte, everything okay in the chat?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll show the back end first, so quick look. We have another Horizon style rear tail light, not another one. This is the first one we see on this car. Multiple tail lights. It expands all the way across the vehicle. It's a full LED, which is again really nice to see. Nice back window, rear wiper, and a high mounted stop lamp just on the spoiler section of this vehicle. I always love to see when Hyundai and Kia put the rear wiper underneath the spoiler, but I understand how there's not that much real estate on this car to do so. Nonetheless, a pretty clean back end, some plastic along the bumper, and then our tailgate release. So let's take a look inside. The car's still a little bit wet, so don't slip, Charlotte.
Thank you.
And then for our rear seats, you can see they each have car seat tethers, and they do fold down in a 60-40 split. Now to knock them down, you can either go to the side, or if you have long arms, you can reach and push them down.
So the seat is so far back.
Yeah. So as long as the front seats aren't too far back, they fold completely flat and you have a ton of usable cargo space. But even when they're up, you can see we still have a very, very good amount of room considering this is a small crossover. I'll take the maps out just so we can get a better look at the floorboard itself. And I'll point out what's underneath. So here's a hint. We don't have a spare tire because we have our tire mobility kit right here. But you can see there is certainly room for a spare if you choose to purchase one, just for peace of mind. So you have the best of both worlds, essentially. If it's a quick fix, you can use the mobility kit. If you need a spare, you can definitely put a spare back there. And just a little thing I'll point out, this has Velcro on it.
So it's not sliding around.
It doesn't slide around. Stick it onto the floorboard, take as sharp turns as you want. Car is perfect. No noises. Now let's close this. And one more thing I'll point out, with the all-wheel drive system, you do get active cornering assist. I know that sounds like a very track-ready sports car function, but it's just meant for stability with this vehicle. So if you are driving on gravel roads, icy roads, the vehicle will adjust its torque as needed to help you best in those conditions when you are steering your vehicle, not just when you're coming from a start or a stop, which is nice to see. Get another side view look at the body. If there's any questions about the exterior, I can definitely answer them now.
Good look on the body lines. A lot of people are saying they like the Velcro.
It's parametric.
Yes, disappointed with no spare. Comparison between the 24 Kona and the 24 Seltos, but we've already done that, haven't we?
Of course. Now we do have a Seltos right outside. I wonder if we could just show it on the camera real quick. We actually have quite a few Seltoses, guys. We finally have stock. And I think me saying we have stock is a great time to mention that we're not just a YouTube channel, we are dealerships. So Charlotte and I work at Brantford Kia. That's where our studio is too, so Brantford Kia Studio. But we also have 2 Hyundai stores, Brantford Hyundai and Owen Sound Hyundai. Any of those stores would be happy to assist you for your car buying needs.
Woo, nice.
All right, I'll probably just show the door handle and then we'll switch over to the interior. So this vehicle does have a proximity key, which is always, always, always so nice to see not powered, but convenient or comfort access into the car like this. So you have a button on the door handle itself. You can press that, and as long as the key is somewhere on you, it'll unlock the car or lock it. And then you never have to dig for your keys. And then it's a push to start when you hop inside. Let's switch now.
Let's switch now.
Let's switch.
I guess that's my cue.
Yep.
All right, so I'm definitely excited to take you guys inside this car because even though it's considered the base model, there's nothing basic about the interior, and I hope that you guys see that because it's got some of my favorite features on it. So first things first, let's take a look at the driver's side door. You can see that we do have power mirrors, so you power adjustable mirrors, which is great. Your lock, unlock, regular automatic windows, with the driver's window being a one-touch and obstacle detecting, which is pretty nice. It worked one touch for me that time. Last time it didn't. When it comes to our seats, they are cloth and they are manual. So it's a set it and forget it seat. There's still 6 ways to adjust it. So obviously you can slide it forward. You can still pump it up or pump it down need be, and of course adjust the backrest of it. Over on this side, you can see that we do our brightness adjuster for our instrument cluster, traction control, idle stop and go, and downhill brake control as well. We have an electronic parking brake, which again, I think is really curious to see in an introductory level trim. Usually you see a handbrake. So very neat seeing that there. And I guess that's really all for this side. Do you want to come around to the side?
For sure. All right. I saw some people ask about the body cladding and if there's a possibility to get all body color, so no cladding. Unfortunately not on the Essential or Preferred. The N-Line and N-Line Ultimate do have full body color. Which I know this cladding is not for everybody. It definitely stands out more on a white car. And of course, if you're getting something like a gray or a black, it'll be a little more hidden, but.
Just because it provides more contrast, right?
Yeah.
So,
this paint color, what's it called?
Atlas White.
And what's special about it?
It is free.
Yeah, complimentary paint color. Woo! And one of the most sought after paint colors too.
Yes, definitely sell a lot of white, black, and gray vehicles in Canada, and just so happens that Hyundai's free color is white, so perfect. Now, as we hop inside, I want to first give a good overview of the cabin, that way you guys can orient yourselves. Now, there is a lot of tech and safety in this vehicle, but it's configured in a way that doesn't make it seem overwhelming, especially if this is the first new vehicle that you've bought. It's very easy to use, very easy to operate, and I love that. But a couple things I want to point out is obviously going to be some of the accenting. We have like a nice darker color metallic accent here. Again, over here with some of these lines, we're playing into the what we see on the exterior for the headlights and the taillights, which again I think looks really cool. And we have a little usable shelf over there, which is perfect for a sunglass holder since this vehicle does not have a traditional one. But we have tested it out that your glasses or sunglasses will stay there even if you take a corner a little bit too hard. Thanks, Active Cornering Assist. All right, let's talk about what I have in front of me. Obviously, steering wheel, obviously instrument cluster. So we'll start with the steering wheel, actually. It's just a regular plastic steering wheel, nothing too crazy going on about it. Over here, we do have our controls for driving. As Gabby mentioned, your cruise control, your lane keep, your lane follow, and then this button will allow us to cycle through the 4.2-inch screen in our instrument cluster. On this side, you can cycle through your various media modes. You've got your virtual assistant, and then also you can set a favorites button. Everything else here is pretty self-explanatory when it comes to calls, switching through media modes, and also adjusting the volume. So let's take a look at that 4.2-inch screen. Now everything is fully digital, which I like because we are operating with a new software, which also gives us this really nice simplified graphic. But the center screen is what is going to be more so adjustable or changeable. Ooh. There we go, I always forget which style it is. So from here you can see things like your accumulated info, which is really neat to see how the vehicle responds to you driving, of course your safety settings, and then also power distribution and your tire pressure, which is very cool. Now, Gabby mentioned the fact that we have a all-wheel drive powertrain in this vehicle, woot woot, and this vehicle is predominantly going to operate in front-wheel drive to help you with that fuel economy, but when it detects that it needs to give you a little bit more power from the rear, it's going to kick in and do that for you, and you will be able to see that on that screen that I showed.
There's a sensor on this car. Do you know what kind of sensor it is?
Tell me.
Slippage sensor.
Slippage. That's not slippage. That's a Canadian way to pronounce it.
Yeah.
Definitely. Now, I think that the real star of this show has got to be the screen that we have right over here. Oh, sorry. Do you want me to talk about the fact that we have a wiper stock and a lighting stock?
Yeah.
We've got them.
Is it new for this year, or did we have that before?
We did have that before.
Oh, okay.
It's standard. Don't worry. If anyone was curious.
Guys, we said this was the Essential.
You've got the essentials and more. Believe us.
All right, but on the topic of more, what's this? This is a lot.
This bad boy right here is probably my favorite thing that Kia and Hyundai is doing. I love their new software. I'm head over heels in love with it, and I say that every single time. So not only in the base do you have this huge 12.3-inch display, but you're also operating with a wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, I did forget to connect my phone, womp womp, but you can still wirelessly stream mine and Gabby's podcast if you want to learn about maintaining your first vehicle and a bunch of other fun topics that we've been able to go through. Anything else you want to add?
Next podcast episode, we're going to be talking about superchargers.
Which is really applicable for this vehicle. Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Gabby's been doing that all day. But again, some of the things that you can see here is how responsive and customizable this software is. So if there's something that I want to be first touch, I can move everything around. It also has this handy drop-down menu where I can quick access these controls, adjust the brightness, adjust the volume of the beeps that I get, change devices, and enable quiet mode, which actually dampens our rear speakers. That way you can still play music up front, but anyone who might be snoozing in the back can still snooze. Speaking of speakers, we don't have a premium sound system in this vehicle, but we do operate with 6 just regular speakers peppered throughout the vehicle. From here, you can also, of course, access setup, which is going to take you to your quick fire driver's assistance. So all of those safety features that Gabby mentioned, here's when you can customize them and put them into active alert or active assist. Of course, you can also access things like your climate, lighting, doors, and other convenience features from here, like your service intervals. So good amount going on here. This is all pretty standard, which is really nice.
It's literally standard. This is the Essential.
I didn't even mean that. You're so smart.
If the shoe fits.
If the shoe fits. But if this still seems a little bit overwhelming for you, with this new software, you have an integrated search feature. So say if I'm looking for a certain feature, like my service interval, I can actually type it in and it's going to show up over here. I can also do the same thing for media. I can do the same thing for contacts, which makes this a lot more user-friendly than I think people might anticipate. You also have your quick fire jump buttons here. So if you want to get back to vehicle setup, hit setup, it's going to take you there. This is going to operate as a favorites button for you, which you can pick from any of these options. And then of course, you're still going to have your media, map, and also the home button.
Mm-hmm.
So very cool.
So the map function's a little interesting because this vehicle doesn't have integrated nav.
That's correct.
But because it has wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, when your phone's connected, it will just jump to your preferred map method there, which is really nice to have, actually.
Which is really sweet because even on the vehicles that do have navigation, I mean, for me personally, I find that I still tend to utilize Apple Maps or Google Maps because I have an iPhone over that because I like, a little bit more of the real world that Google Maps offers. But that's just my personal opinion. So again, very neat to see that there. I also like that we have real buttons and dials for our tune knob, volume knob, and of course all of these. Climate control is nice and simple in this vehicle, but of course you've got air conditioning. So all you have to do is adjust it, play around with it, direct your fan, everything like that, and you're able to utilize everything. Yeah. Down at the bottom, move this. I'll show the key fob actually. We have an egg style key, which I do find a little bit dated. It's giving 2005. But from here you can see that we have integrated remote start. So if you lock the vehicle, press and hold this, it's going to automatically start the vehicle up for you, and no BlueLink subscription is required for that. Also, did I mention this car has BlueLink? There you go. That's Hyundai's telematic system.
So I can start my car from my phone and lock it and check if it's still there?
Yeah. All from
Sweet.
your phone.
Sweet.
All on a base model.
Yeah, that is really nice.
I'm actually genuinely excited about this vehicle. I like it.
Yeah, no, I think this is a fantastic car.
Down at the bottom, you can see that we have options for connectivity and also for charging. We've got a 12 volt here. And then also this button, it's not illuminated right now, but this will actually show you when the rear seatbelts are in use, so you know who's using a seatbelt and who isn't. Convenient spot here, nice spot just to toss your phone if it's charging or if it's connected wirelessly, it can stay there. Gear shift, lever gear shift, which I love. It's not a column mounted shift by wire. And then from here, we're gonna have more of our driving convenience features. We have a toggle for our drive modes, and we have normal, sport, and one terrain mode, which is snow mode. So normal and sport, obviously sport's gonna give you that sportier configuration, a little bit more aggressive throttle, and not be as great for your fuel economy, but boy, is it a lot of fun. For snow mode, of course, that's gonna help decrease, don't look at me like that. It's fun, it's a Kona, it's fun, it could be sporty. It can be. For snow mode, that's gonna help decrease some wheel spin if you are, encountering that nice fresh powder in the winter, as we do here in Canada. You also have a locking differential, which you can manually engage. Of course, that is only going to be operational under about 25 kilometers per hour.
Lock-in differential.
Locking. Lock it. Got it on lock. Oh, I'm losing my mind today. Can you guys tell? It's only Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right?
Yes.
Okay. Heated seats for me. Heated seats for Gabby. Rear view camera, which is accessible. Get a good look at the Harley in the back. And also dynamic guidelines so you don't hit said Harley in the back. Of course, you're also going to have auto hold. So when that's enabled, it'll hold you at a full and complete stop. Once you bring yourself to a stop, you can actually take your foot off of the brake, which is very neat to do so. You got your snake style cup holders. So if you're a big python girl like myself, just pop your little snake in here and it's good to go. I do not have a python, that was a joke. But if you like snakes, Put it in there. Don't do that. I don't have this bad advice today. For our center console, you don't have too much hidden storage. This is really the only area that is fully concealed. You still do have some space under here for some bigger items, but it is not completely concealed. So change, wallet, you'll want to put up here if you are leaving that in your vehicle.
So Charlotte, if you had to grab something from your center console, would you actually open it or would you just dig your hand in?
Well, it depends on if there's a python in there or not. Obviously. I'd probably stick my hand underneath, yeah. Unless it's lip balm, like my car lip balm, you know? Can't get that confused with the purse lip balm. Up top, lights, illuminated visors, that way I can apply my car lip balm. And glove box review. That's all you, Gabis.
All right, under the glove box, you can see we got manuals, we got our plate bracket, you know, the usual. It's a decent sized glove box.
Yeah.
I would say the storage space in this car is actually quite
I think
good.
the space in general is really good.
Yeah, it's a big car.
Yeah.
But it's not.
It doesn't feel like it.
I can't touch Charlotte and I have long arms.
Hey girl. Let's take a look at the back seat and what the space is like there.
Oh, so you can see her seats.
The light. All right, so in the back seat, again, still a decent amount of space. I'll actually sit right here because this seat is moved significantly more backwards than this one. So here's a good look at the legroom. Now these are the two main seats. I definitely would say are true, you know, full-size seats. Decent amount of headspace, especially because we don't have a sunroof, so that allows you to really capitalize on the vertical real estate. That was a sentence I just said. And I know I'm saying a lot, so sorry. For some amenities that we do have back here, you still do have a bottle holder, you've got speakers in the back, you have dual USB-Cs, which is really nice. No rear air vents in this model, and when it comes to the center seat, I will say, this center seat is decently wide. It's almost the same width as what we see.
Sorry, the gimbal freaked out.
The gimbal's gimbaling?
Oh boy, oh boy. If this is your first Kia Hyundai channel video, please stay. Please don't leave.
Yeah, and subscribe, please. This is a decently wide seat, which I think is really nice. So it really does show the amount of space that you can get back here. And then you also have a drop-down armrest or cup holders for use as well. Lower latch anchors, which is great to see. And when it comes to the hump, this is all-wheel drive, so you know we've got a bigger hump. It's not that bad, actually. It's really not that bad. I probably wouldn't put your tallest passenger here. If if you're driving with 5 people and they love you, you can definitely put your legs down here and you still have a decent amount of space as people can see. But not bad as far as center humps go. I've seen worse.
Christian asked why there is yellow tape in this car still, and the answer is we only got it a little over an hour ago.
It's blue.
And it was completely wrapped in plastic and absolutely filthy.
I don't even know if it's been PDI'd yet.
No. This is a fresh arrival. All right, so we'll do a quick exterior little walk around. Another look at the Horizon style LED taillights and the body cladding. Check it out. Single tip exhaust right over there. And then there's your backup camera. All of the badging on this car is that low profile finish again. So again, very sleek. And a nice aluminum finish. Get a shark fin antenna up top. And the body lines on this car are sharp, very, very sharp.
I still didn't get it, the hood. I'm just gonna leave it. I was being the chiropractor over here.
For fuel, it's regular unleaded. Nothing special, nothing crazy. And it's I will say, it's an all-wheel drive crossover, so it's not gonna be as fuel efficient as a small sedan or a hybrid. But at 8.6 liters per 100 kilometers with this amount of space and this price point, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. So check it out. I know on camera the LEDs are probably gonna look a little like they're flickering, but they don't in person.
No, that's just camera.
Very, very sharp. And nice lines on this car. I will say,
minus the hood, it's open.
Yeah,
I know.
Do you want to hop inside the car for the Q&A, Charlotte?
Yes, let me grab my computer.
Okay. We'll go back in.
You guys good?
No.
Oh boy.
I love Uncle Tim.
I love how we've done these videos every day, every weekday at 2 p.m. for years. And every day it's still a surprise that we're filming.
Every day they ask what time we're filming at.
Yep.
It's real. All right, let's see questions. The back LED looks like the newer RoboCop helmet. Yep, it's a RoboCop aesthetic.
Mm-hmm. I guess I can look on here if I can read. Okay, this is gonna look a little awkward for a little bit, you guys. This is intimate question time.
Yeah. We're just going through it.
I will say this chat's been very quiet today because Zoran has been blocked. So,
For 24 hours.
for 24 hours.
Which is almost up. It's like Cinderella.
Which means he could be here at any moment. A little scared, actually. Willie said Stormtrooper car. No. This one is definitely a RoboCop. The Kia Soul, that's the Stormtrooper car.
I think Seltos maybe even. Maybe because it's a little bit of a boxier front end, but Kia Soul definitely. Definitely. A couple of people are talking about a spare tire and the worry of having flats. I definitely understand that. You have a tire mobility kit, which obviously is not going to help when it comes to any type of sidewall damage or a complete
blowout.
Yeah, not the diaper kind. I've dealt with that though. Don't worry. No one cares. You do have 5 years unlimited mileage of roadside assistance, so you do have that, which personally I like because if I'm on the side of the highway, like if I'm on the 407 or a bigger highway series, I'm probably not going to go over and change my tire myself, just because that's a little bit more of a dangerous, precarious situation. If it's a back road, yeah, no worries, but that's just my opinion.
What's your height, Charlotte? They want to gauge the seating back there.
I'm wearing flats today. I'm not very tall, truthfully. I'm about 5'2", maybe 5'3" on a good day. So I'm not very tall. But Pat, my dad, and the dealer principal here, he has sat in the backseat of a Kona because I used to drive one, and he is 6'1".
6'1"?
Yeah.
And it's gotten bigger since
And it's gotten bigger since that time. That was in 2020. Chris said, perfect spot between tech and simplicity. Yeah, definitely.
Do you hear that noise?
Is that a rodent? No, it's mechanical.
I think
someone's
in
pulling
here.
something. There's a pulley over there.
What?
It sounds like someone's pulling something.
That's so freaky.
Python, nope. Iguana, yes. Yep, your iguana will fit in there.
Our BlueLink feature is free when buying a new vehicle from Hyundai. So they're currently free for 3 years, unlimited kilometers here in Canada. I would love to see that be extended. After that, it's subscription based, so there's different packages you can get. So if you want all of the features to be unlocked, obviously that's going to be the more expensive one. Certain vehicles like our fully loaded models that have 360 cameras, those will have more functions that you would have to get the higher prescription to really utilize, or I guess capitalize on. But yeah, free for 3 years. I use it almost every single day because in the summer you can preset your AC to go on to fully low, and or in the winter you can have your heat fully blasted. It makes it really, really nice.
It does have wireless CarPlay, which Willie is asking. Price one more time is $25,999 is the MSRP plus $2,000 for the all-wheel drive, so $27,999 plus fees and taxes.
Yes. What's the difference between this model and the front-wheel drive? Well, it doesn't have all-wheel drive.
You guessed it, baby.
But the suspension is also different. So this one's going to have a rear multi-link suspension, and obviously you won't have a locking differential on the front-wheel drive.
Here's a good question. Does having a full digital display for everything affect your eyes when driving at night on long trips versus a traditional cluster with a nav screen? So with these vehicles, number one is you can actually put a blue light filter on it. So if you want something that's a little bit less intense, you can actually adjust the amount of warm tones in the screen, which is nice. You can also set it to switch back and forth between light and dark, and you can have that set as a preset time or also just as the vehicle seems fit. That way it's not as harsh on the eyes.
That was a really good question, actually.
Yeah, that was a great question.
Blake, Zoran he's hiding in a tree with binoculars and a lot. I wouldn't be surprised.
He was here last week.
Yeah.
Good questions today.
All right, I think that's probably about it.
I think that's it. I think we've got most of the questions. If by any chance we did not answer yours, leave it as a comment once this video is posted.
Yes, and it should be posted immediately.
So stick around.
Yes.
Bye.
Yeah, goodbye, y'all.